NINETAILS Himawari's new powers and potential revealed. Boruto appears and shocks everyone. Sarada's Sharingan eyes are in danger, and more happens in this insane chapter, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Chill the Hokage within and smash that like button if you like seeing Boruto videos on the channel and want to keep them coming. Make this the video you join the Hidden Leaf Village by subscribing and hitting that notification bell to turn on all notifications, or you will miss future Boruto reviews and updates. And now, without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So last chapter ended in a crazy way with Inojin getting impaled and looking like he's done for, while an angry Himawari finally unlocked her cool new NINETAILS form, where even her hair was awesome, as it was an obvious throwback to her grandma Kushina, who was also the NINETAILS Jinchuriki at one point. The other thing was that Boruto was nowhere in sight last chapter in regards to being close to the battlefield. But this chapter is even more hyped than the last one, because we not only get to see what this new NINETAILS Himawari is capable of, but also Boruto finally shows up and shows us what he's capable of too post time skip. So before, Himawari was trapped in that tree, but the power she unleashes in her awakened NINETAILS form destroys the tree around her and frees her. Judah comments that he's sure this can be attributed to NINETAILS chakra, but asks, what is this? Even someone like him is impressed by Himawari's use of the NINETAILS power, which is not shocking since Kurama pretty much said she has more potential than Naruto. But we're just getting started with the impressive feats for Himawari. We're reminded how her leg was broken last chapter, and now it's completely healed. That's that crazy NINETAILS healing chakra, but we're about to see some even more insane healing soon. Also, just shout out to the people who pointed out in the comments that her leg was broken severely in the last review. I missed it last time, thinking our clone boy just squeezed her leg, but it's clear he actually twisted it an insane and unnatural amount on closer examination. But here comes what I was alluding to. I was saying last time that Inojin looked like he had a lethal injury, but this is Naruto / Boruto, and now that Himawari has this insane healing power, I guess we shouldn't be surprised that she takes him down and heals him with NINETAILS chakra. I love how she does it all with her hair too. I wonder if there are more benefits to using your hair like Kushina and Himawari did versus how Naruto usually uses chakra tails, but either way, I prefer this aesthetically. Anyways, we see that Inojin is healed, and even Shikadai is confused to see that the wound is closed. Himawari still seems worried, saying, and I quote, "I'm not sure it's fixed properly. Get him to the hospital quickly," end quote. However, I think we all know he'll be fine. So although Boruto didn't end up going very dark like he could have, it did end up hyping up the extent of Himawari's new powers, especially her healing powers, and this healing power will no doubt be useful for Boruto down the line too. I can see her healing him when he needs it on the battlefield in the future. Shikadai is shocked by the level of power and asks Himawari, what the heck is this power you've got? She says, I'm not sure either, but it must be what he's, meaning Judah's, interested in, and I'm going to confirm it now, end quote. Love seeing this confident talking Himawari, although it's clear she still worries, and we almost always see sweat on her face to indicate as much. Himawari is asked what's she planning, and she straight up says she's gonna take Judah down, which is commendable if not completely believable. She says otherwise it's the end for all of us, which would be true if a certain overpowered brother wasn't on his way. Himawari tells them to get away now, considering that he's only after Himawari. They should be safe as long as they don't try to interfere. She tells them to hurry. Chocho doesn't want to do it obviously, but Shikadai, being the logical one, says they should go since they are just in the way here, especially with Inojin in tow. Chocho is shocked to hear him say that, but he says calm down and think about it. This is a battle we have little chance of winning, so we gotta minimize our losses. That's what Himawari is saying. Now, from an optimistic shonen protagonist, that may not be what you want to hear. Superman, for example, wouldn't say stuff like that. However, Shikadai is being a rational leader here, making tough decisions. He reminds me of his father, and he seems to already be displaying some important skills that would be very useful for a Hokage. You know, the only problem is the lack of power, but we'll see if they are nice enough to give significant power boosts to other characters, or if it'll just be a Naruto Shippuden situation again, with a couple leading the pack by a wide margin. Judah is all like, a wise decision, not a Shikadai. I shall remember your name, let's meet again someday. I mean, you don't necessarily want respect from the bad guy, but nice to see Shikadai getting respect nonetheless. Chocho continues to push back, saying, I cannot accept you fighting him alone. She says, I'm not comfortable with it either, but I have this power and I want to carry out the responsibility that comes with it. Because I feel that's what Dad and Big Bro would do. It's admirable and love to see Himawari stepping up like this. Finally, even Chocho accepts her resolve and says, well, you promised we'd go together to that new pancake house when it opens. Now this following moment made me crack up. Himawari responds, I haven't forgotten, I love pancakes, end quote. That was such a funny dialogue to me, props for that, but at the same time we all get and can respect the sentiment. She's telling Himawari not to die here. They leave and finally Himawari is preparing to take on Judah. Judah says, I know that you're not complete idiots, which is why it's incomprehensible what it is that drastically lowers your judgment ability again and again. There he is trying to understand what it means to be human, and it's hard for him to understand since he doesn't necessarily know about ideas like virtue, honor, and bravery. And if it was explained to him, he might just find it all illogical, but as a clearly philosophical guy, it'll be interesting to see how his own personal philosophy develops. Judah continues saying, Inojin essentially brought on his own destruction by foolishly not heeding my repeated warnings and engaging in exceedingly reckless behavior that clearly lacked rationality. But while I do not understand it, it seems that something has caught fire in you. Is it just a coincidence or is there some correlation? And he's right, there is definitely correlation, like when Frieza killed Krillin on Namek and Goku became a Super Saiyan. Again, fun to see these guys exploring the human condition like an alien race would. Himawari then gets serious again and then the real fun starts. She says, shut up, and punches Judah, breaks the ground beneath them and hits him with an even stronger attack that sends him flying. As he's flying back, we see her hair gather like the tails of the Biju and she launches in human form a Biju bomb. I don't gotta tell you that this shows insane potential that she can do this right off the bat in human form. Can't wait to see what she'll be capable of after a much needed training arc for her and these new powers. Judah launches one too and they clash. Probably to Himawari's credit, they cancel each other out, showing that Judah's doesn't overpower hers. As the three friends are running away, they look back at the explosion, and Shikadai is clearly impressed by and worried about Himawari, but then we jump back to the fight quickly. Judah's clothes have become tattered because of the fight. He's not hurt, but he is impressed. He says, now this is a surprise. Not only do you have the power, but you can also control a Biju bomb. Even given NINETAILS power as a prerequisite, I'm extremely curious about how you managed to undergo such rapid advancement. And I hope that rapid advancement keeps up. But then Judah starts getting serious. He headbutts her and proceeds to outspeed her again and again. He savagely kicks her into the ground. He gives her the props she deserves while he's overpowering her by saying, this is a first. I've decided to release just a little bit. You've made me want to test my true power. I think we could all expect this, and honestly, I don't see Judah and Hidari dying anytime soon. What I can potentially see is something happening to buy our guys more time. Or maybe them just escaping. And then we need that Himawari training arc I've been talking about, where she learns to master her newfound incredible powers. We then jump to Sarada versus Hidari, and honestly, Sarada doesn't impress here at all, unfortunately, which is a shame because I am rooting for her. She lets her guard down too easily for a ninja, but we'll get into it. She says after hurting Hidari last chapter, that's a fatal wound, you must be in pain. If you answer truthfully, I'll ease your suffering. Who are you? Why can you use the Chidori? His wound is then quickly healed like nothing happened. So much for that being a lethal wound. Everyone proceeds to be shocked at how the wound was healed so quickly. And then Hidari says, and I quote, you, those eyes of yours. Judah told me about them. They're Sharingan, aren't they? Chidori. Is that what the attack I used is called? I wondered why it was so hard to control, but it seems that eyes like yours are needed to master it. That's insane stuff right there, and the implication is that he may take at least one of Sarada's eyes so he can perfect the Chidori. We all know that in Naruto, taking people's eyes and using them for yourself is actually really possible and happened in Naruto. So I would be very worried right now if I was Sarada. Sarada wonders what is up with this guy. Konohamaru asks about his connection to Sasuke, but Hidari just says, who? I don't know who that is. You keep throwing ridiculous questions at me. He says in response to who he is that he's trying to figure that out. That's why he came to Konoha. Sumire tells Master Konohamaru that he needs to protect Sarada since that is Hidari's target. She knows it. This is when Hidari catches Sarada by surprise with an attack. Apparently with his hand in his pocket, he can make it appear through the claw behind Sarada. To be fair, that is impressive, I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, I feel like Sarada should be more on guard here. This is clearly a powerful opponent, and maybe I just have high hopes for Sarada, but I don't like to see her completely caught off guard like this, because obviously this is a unique and impressive opponent. One dude gets roasted, and again you can see Hidari favoring styles of attacks that Sasuke is famous for now in the fandom, like fire and lightning. Konohamaru says, "Damn it," and prepares for action. He tries to launch a Rasengan, but Hidari just uses the claws to get behind him. To Konohamaru's credit though, he manages to counter with wind-style Rasen barricade that definitely dampened the damage. Yes, he hits into a wall, but I'm sure he's not down for the rest of the fight. Hidari clearly is getting fed up with Sumire, who is worrying about Sarada, and he hits her with the lightning too. Sarada thinks that she can't move her body, and yeah, it makes sense to see a lightning attack paralyze. I mean, we've all played Pokemon, right? Anyways, it's not looking good for Sarada, clearly. Meanwhile, it's not looking any better for Himawari, where we cut to next. Judah is just launching attack after attack. He's impressed by her astounding healing power, but still, he's clearly toying with her. He says she is far beyond human or Jinchuriki level, something almost like what we Biju possess. High praise that would feel better if she didn't seem so powerless right now. But at the very least, it's mad hyping her up for the future. He says, and I quote, "You are getting quite weak, it's natural. No matter how much you heal your injuries, you can't escape the corresponding chakra expenditure," end quote. We even see Kurama, and he's thinking Jura's a bigger monster than he expected. Definitely not someone you can do something about solely with high potential. Again, we seem to be hinting at Himawari needing training and experience again. Kurama says, and I quote, "I hate to say it, but we're totally outmatched here," end quote. We get a quick conversation where Kawaki is getting called out for getting the crap beaten out of him, so Delta asks what's the point of him even going. But Kawaki simply says he can't not go, he'll do whatever he can, while she implies that he can't do a thing, so why go again? They both then seem to sense Boruto, and before we know it, Boruto finally joins the battlefield. This is truly his manga now, where he now has that Goku effect of making things feel so much better when he arrives. He's come a long way. He quickly grabs Himawari before Judah can seemingly react, and then we jump to Hidari. Hidari is grabbing a paralyzed Sarada with his tree arm. He says, and I quote, "I have no idea who I am, but somehow the one thing I do know about from the get-go is you, Uchiha Sarada. So I ask you, who are you? What will I gain if I devour you?" End quote. And although it's clearly turned out to be messed up, the fact that Hidari is so focused on Sarada probably means that Sasuke cares deeply about her, and so his clone is focused on her too. But instead of wanting to protect her like Sasuke does, the clone decides to devour her. A very messed up twist. Then Boruto uses some Toad help and flying Raijin Jutsu to teleport right to where Sarada is, because of course saving just Himawari is not enough for this new badass Boruto. Absolutely love seeing Boruto using the technique that his grandpa Minato mastered to such success. It's cool seeing the parallels of both Kushina with the hair and Himawari, and the flying Raijin Jutsu that Minato used in Boruto. It's a unique way of using it too, since the army of toads seems to be doing the work while carrying different symbols that Boruto must have pre-marked. In this case, the symbol is a square and Boruto uses it to narrow down the location. As soon as he appears, in one fluid movement, he takes out his sword and cuts Sarada free as he's still holding Himawari. Epic stuff. We then see a surprised Konohamaru showing that yes, he is in fact alright. Now we got Boruto in the middle of the battlefield between Hidari and his prey. And we're about to see what he's truly capable of after the time skip now. And I definitely want to see him push to his current limit. So hyped for this, although even if Boruto does flex a bit, like I said, I don't think the definitive battle will be fought here. I think retreat and train may be the way it goes. And later on, I think Himawari will be an important player in defeating these guys, and hopefully Sarada will be an important player too. Judah calls Boruto a crafty thing, and Hidari calls him Otsutsuki Boruto. And that is where this insane chapter leaves off. Now, if you enjoyed this video with all the Biju stuff, feel free to check out my All Biju and Their Powers Explained video, link on screen right now. Like and subscribe for more Boruto Shippuden, and I'll see you in the next one.